What happened the day Dominic White was killed?
You ain't got no guns or anything like that on you, right?
The DA releases his findings, and we look at what happens next. A bitter cold snap hits with one rescue mission outreach program on hold, how they're still working to reach out to the homeless. Plus, Topeka wheels its way to honors for its bike-friendly efforts, and we catch up with our Wednesday's children, hoping the new year brings them forever families. Good evening and welcome into 13 News at 10. I'm Melissa Bruner. Ralph Hipp is off tonight. 3 months after two Topeka police officers shot and killed a man, the Shawnee County District Attorney announced today they will not face criminal charges. This all started September 28th. That is the day officers were called here to reports of gunshots near Ripley Park. They encountered Dominic White. There was a struggle and White was killed. The same day, Topeka police announced they asked Lawrence police to conduct the investigation into the incident. As the days stretched into weeks, November 2nd, White's family began what would become a series of demonstrations outside the law enforcement center, asking for answers and demanding the release of police body cam footage that authorities said the law prevented them from releasing while the investigation was ongoing. November 29th, nearly a month ago now, Lawrence police turned over their reports to DA Mike Kagay to consider criminal charges. And 2 weeks ago, White's father, Kelly, was allowed to view the body cam footage as the court-approved executor of his son's estate. He has not commented publicly on what he saw, but today that video was released publicly as Kagay explained why what it shows, in his view, does not support criminal charges. 13's Sean Wheat begins our team coverage tonight. He has covered this case since the beginning. We do caution you that you might find this video disturbing. Sean?
Melissa, Shawnee County District Attorney Mike Kagay laid out the evidence of his decision like he would during a court case, showing each point in the videos that led him to the conclusion no charges would be filed.
You ain't got no guns or anything like that on you, right?
Topeka police officers investigating a report of gunshots near Ripley Park approached Dominic White and began to question him. The officer who was watching White from behind noticed something in his pocket and approached him.
Don't do that. You have no reason to arrest me, bro. Relax. He has a gun in his pocket. Lay down. He has a gun in his pocket. Stop. Please stop. Back, 1039.
White broke away and ran towards the intersection of 3rd and Lawrence.
Both of his hands went to his left side, his right hand holding back his shirt as his left hand moved to the left pocket where the firearm was being held.
At that point, each officer fired 4 times. Of those 8 shots, 2 hit White in the back, with 1 round exiting his chest. The 3rd bullet grazed him. One officer held White at gunpoint while the other got a first aid kit from his patrol car. He returned, pulled a semi-automatic handgun from White's pocket along with 2 clips and a knife, then began giving White first aid.
It is my conclusion, based on a review of all relevant facts and law, that the actions of the officers involved in this incident do not rise to the level of criminal conduct. It is further my opinion that no reasonable judge or jury would find the actions of either officer involved in this matter to be unlawful.
The White family issued a statement tonight through their attorney saying they're incredibly disappointed with the DA's decision. White's mother, Mary Teresa Wynn, said, quote, "My son was shot in the back while attempting to run away from officers. They did not need to shoot and kill him." His stepmother, Molly White, added, quote, "Had Topeka police exercised restraint, Dominic would be alive with us today."
Sean, thank you. And what about the call that brought police to Ripley Park in the first place? Kagay shed a bit more light on that today as well. 13's Juan Cisneros continues our team coverage from the newsroom with that update. Juan?
Melissa, when police were dispatched to the area near Ripley Park, they found White and began to ask him about the call that brought them there.
Okay, I can still barely hear you. What's going on there?
About 5 gunshots just went off.
The call came in at 9:20 a.m., September 28th. DA Mike Kagay says 2 unnamed officers were dispatched 4 minutes later.
Both officers are veterans of the police department. We're familiar with the area adjacent to and including Ripley Park, and we're aware of the fact that the area has an exceptionally high rate of crime, violent crime, and crimes related to firearms.
Okay, could you tell what direction they came from?
Like from the east to northeast, out by the park.
Okay, we'll get the officers over there and check, okay?
Thank you.
The initial call reported about 5 shots were fired at the scene. Kagay says that it's consistent with the number of empty rounds in the magazine of the gun found in White's possession.
It was ready for use, correct. And based on our investigation, we believe it's reasonable to to think they had been recently used, and was the approximate cost for those officers being dispatched.
KG also said gunshot residue was found on White's hand and 2 loaded magazines were in his pocket. KG added that the findings related to the initial shots fired call give further support to his ruling that the officers did not commit any criminal action.
Juan Cisneros in the newsroom with that part of the story tonight. Juan, thanks for the update. And today's decision against criminal charges does not necessarily end the inquiries into this incident. The Topeka Police Department has its own internal administrative review already underway. City spokesperson Molly Hadfield told 13 News the city will follow procedures by not releasing the officers' names until it is complete. She did say the officers will remain on leave until this administrative investigation also is complete. And there also is the potential for civil action. The New York City law firm Beldock, Levine and Hoffman is representing White's family. Among cases cited on their website is a nearly $6 million wrongful death settlement with New York City for the death of a man who died when officers there placed him in a chokehold. The White's attorney did not respond to our emails asking about the possibility of a similar lawsuit in Topeka. Much more on this story and more video is on WIBW.com. Another big story capturing our attention today, this frigid cold temperature out there, dangerously low temperatures tonight, and Jeremy Goodwin is in the Weather Center with a look at how long they will last. Jeremy?
Hi, Melissa. We have wind chill values close to 0 right now in many areas overnight, staying cold with a low of 12 degrees. We've been colder this morning. We saw wind chill values more than 10 degrees below. The actual low temperature today was -1 just before sunrise today. So 12 is actually an improvement. Tomorrow, 32, making it to the freezing mark. And that's the warmest day we're going to see for quite a while, as a full 8-day forecast is all below freezing and far below freezing, especially New Year's Eve. Be ready for about an inch or 2 of snow possible on Sunday, powdery snow, and wind chill values that can be 20 to 30 degrees below 0 from Sunday evening all the way through New Year's Day morning. I'll have more about this in your full 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jeremy. With those temps bottoming out below 0 today, the Topeka Rescue Mission is seeing some record numbers coming in to seek warmth. 13's Erica Hall tells us how the mission is working to re-implement its efforts to help those who aren't coming inside.
Melissa, in frigid weather, Operation Street Reach provided a lifeline to homeless people who chose to remain outdoors. They'll do without this cold snap because the program is not active right now, but that doesn't mean there aren't options.
In these frigid temps, mother of 5 Jahan Walker says she can't imagine where she'd be without the Topeka Rescue Mission.
It's cold outside now, and I couldn't be out without my kids.
In recent years, the mission launched an outreach effort for those who choose not to come inside and remain outdoors in homeless camps.
So the Topeka Rescue Mission shelters over 2,000 different people a year, men, women, and children. And part of what we do is we search out in the streets for those who are unsheltered to try to see if we can invite them into the rescue mission or some kind of service that they might need.
But Rescue Mission Director Barry Feeker says Operation Street Reach was suspended 2 months ago while they search for a new person to run the program.
We know it's important to be out there, and so our goal is to be out there as soon as possible, and just got to have the right people.
Feeker hopes people will find their way to the shelter until Operation Street Reach is back in service.
If they decide to stay, they can. If they decide not to stay, we're going to be back out there to try to help them. Again, the unsheltered homeless are everywhere. They're in abandoned homes where we may not be able to see them. They're places where we can see them. There are people who might want to come in, and a lot of people don't want to come in.
Jahan says seeking help is much better than the alternative.
Let your pride down, because I didn't want to come, but it's not like what you think. Like, when you think of shelter, you think of like, ew, you don't want to go there, it's bad people, but it's not bad. It's not as bad as people make it seem. And they're treating my family pretty good.
The rescue mission says it's finalizing its search for a new Operation Street Reach manager and should have the program up and running again in the next few weeks. Erica Hall, 13 News.
Erica, thanks for that. Topeka police say a store clerk fought off a would-be robber with a bat tonight. He is still on the run, and here's his picture. TPD says he walked into the U Market in the 900 block of 21st Street just after 6:30 tonight, threatened the clerk with a pocket knife and demanded money. The clerk, though, grabbed the bat and hit him once. The suspect then ran off, last seen in the 200 block of Southeast Virginia. The suspect was described as a white man, 5'10", wearing a red hat, black face mask, gray hoodie, purple latex gloves, blue jeans, and black shoes. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 234-0007. The Kansas State Fire Marshal's office says a person killed in yesterday's Pottawatomie County house fire died from the toxic gases of the fire. The person's body was found inside the house in the 3700 block of Stewart Farm Road. Authorities are awaiting an autopsy to make a positive identification. 4 other people in the home got out safely. Investigators say the fire started in the basement. The cause is undetermined, but they say it most likely stemmed from a failure of several electronic components. The man charged in a drive-by shooting that killed a 5-year-old girl will appear in court next week. 21-year-old Jesse Hughes is charged with first-degree murder in the death of Lily Coates Nichols. Hughes also faces a felony count of shooting at an occupied vehicle. Hughes was arrested last Tuesday. He'll be in court next Thursday. It was July 2015 when Lily was hit by a bullet as she sat in the back seat of her mother's car on her way to her father's house in the Highcrest neighborhood. The bullet struck Lily in the head. She died 3 days later. A March 2nd sentencing is set for a man convicted of child sex crimes. 24-year-old Braden Voss pleaded guilty to 2 counts of criminal sodomy with a child under 14 and 1 count of electronic solicitation of a child. Voss originally faced a dozen criminal counts from actions prosecutors say took place from September 1st, 2016 through April 14th of 2017. Voss is among 5 suspects indicted on similar charges, accusing them of sex crimes and human trafficking involving the same minor child. Topeka is turning heads for its bike-friendly efforts. Hear who's taking notice. Plus, find out where the 4-wheel transportation might run into a roadblock the next couple weeks. That's all coming up later tonight. But first, we take a look at our Wednesday's Children of the Year still waiting for forever families.
You're watching 13 News at 10 with Melissa Bruner. 13 News, Kansas News Leader. This is your 13 weather forecast with Jeremy Goodwin.
So the temperature dropped to 1 degree below zero this morning. This weekend, especially New Year's Eve, is going to be much colder than that. Here's what we have out there tonight. A mostly clear sky in Topeka at this time. That view from Menninger Hill or Capitol Federal Skycam. And temperatures are in the teens almost everywhere. 16 in Topeka, 12 in Hiawatha. The temperature has been nearly stationary the last several hours and shouldn't drop much from where we already are after being -1 this morning. Tonight's lows 10 to maybe 12 degrees above zero is an improvement, but it'll be short-lived. Tomorrow and Friday, a couple of days that are warmer than we've seen lately, but still very chilly. Wind chill now is 2 in Hiawatha. Concordia has been most of the day under the 0 degree mark, but right now the wind chill is 1. Wind chill overnight into tomorrow morning. Many spots close to 0 just before and just after sunrise tomorrow, so not a terrible start to the day compared to what we've seen of late. But again, this weekend looks to be much, much colder. Lows tonight around 10 to 12 degrees. Winds not terribly strong, but temperatures almost stationary, really. And then tomorrow, 32. That's the warmest day we've seen in a while, and the warmest one we'll see for the next 8 days. So close to freezing is as warm as we're going to get with a lot of sunshine during the day. Let's jump ahead to Saturday after seeing dry conditions tomorrow and really no weather threats on Friday. It was highs in the 20s. The wind chill on Saturday starts to show the next Arctic wave moving in. 8 a.m. already seeing wind chill values close to 0. Normally as you approach noon, temperatures get warmer. The wind chill actually falls through noon and 1 o'clock down to 5 to 8 degrees below zero. And as the evening rolls on, the wind chill values just really get worse as the heart of this Arctic air mass really starts to settle in. Here's Sunday, New Year's Eve at 6 o'clock in the morning, actually, New Year's Eve. Looking at some folks 15, 20 below zero there. That's the first really, really nasty night of wind chill. Now, we do have a chance of seeing some snow with this as well. Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning, maybe an inch or so of snow. If we get this, it'll be very powdery, fine snow that should blow around quite a bit in the strong breeze. And with this extreme wind chill and any snow to deal with, certainly just a nasty weekend, possibly seeing less snow, but the wind chill is going to be very, very cold. The European model, this is one of our versions of the Supercast showing wind chill values at midnight on Sunday night. That's, of course, New Year's Eve. We ring in the new year, 2018, right there, with wind chill values around 15 to 20 below zero. That's what we see on the Euro model. Now, I showed the GFS earlier, and the numbers were down in the 30 to 35 below zero range. Now, it's not as bad. It's still 20 to 30 below zero. It's just not going off the charts. Had a few spots in Iowa going into -40, so it's better, but still be ready for an inch or two of snow, especially Sunday, and wind chill values minus 15 to 25, and that includes if you are out for New Year's Eve at midnight on Sunday night. It's going to be probably some of the coldest of the weather. So cold weather safety, certainly stay indoors if you can. Stay hydrated. Keep your hands and feet dry if you've got to be out in this at all. And watch for signs of hypothermia, as this is the kind of weather that can certainly cause that kind of thing. And yes, today is the warmest day of the bunch with New Year's Eve high of 7 and New Year's Day morning minus 8 for the forecast low, wind chill minus 20 to 25 in the morning.
I'm not sure that's kind of the extreme we're wanting. Thank you, Jeremy. Each week we feature children who need to be adopted. And while many of our Wednesday's children did find homes this year, several are still waiting. Here's Lori Hutchinson tonight with a look at those still wishing for a forever family.
All right, babe.
Come over here, let's get some cheese on that thing. Let's go ahead and grab a pinch.
And we do hope they all find homes in the year ahead. If you'd like to learn about any of these children or others in need of adoption, contact Kansas Children's Service League 877-457-5430. You can also log on to their website or check out the KCSL Facebook page. A stretch of 10th Street downtown will be shut down for a couple weeks. Find out why coming up. Plus, Topeka Metro honored as one of the most bike-friendly businesses in the nation. Hear why.
You're watching 13 News, Kansas News Leader.
The downtown section of 10th Street will be closed for 2 weeks due to a water main break. Eastbound lanes of Southwest 10th Avenue between Topeka Boulevard and Harrison Street, that's right there near the State House, as you see, will be closed while crews work on the line. Eastbound traffic will be directed into the center lane, so you will still be able to get through. The city says the lanes should be open again by January 10th at 5 p.m. Topeka Metro has been recognized as one of the most bicycle-friendly businesses in the U.S. The League of American Bicyclists, or LAB, awarded the Metro with its Silver Designation Bicycle-Friendly Business Award. The LAB says Topeka Metro encourages bicycling as an option for easy transportation and points out the bike share service the Metro runs as an example. The Metro also provides bike racks for the public and its employees. Topeka Metro now joins more than 1,100 local business, government agencies, and Fortune 500 companies the LAB says are transforming the workplace. Coming up, you'll see which Kansas Prep Zone stars made the roster for this year's Kansas Shrine Bowl. Also, Bill Self talks about one of the most unique players his team could face this season, how the Jayhawks are preparing next. Also, a Topeka man celebrates 100 years of life. You'll hear his secret next.
Sports with Jonathan Deutsch.
The Big 12 is going to be brutal this year. 6 teams currently ranked in the top 25, and this big guy, Mo Bamba, is a 6'11 freshman for Texas. He currently averages more than 4 blocks per game, and considering, his wingspan is the same as a 7'47", it makes sense. KU travels to Texas on Friday, and Bill Self knows containing Bamba will be quite the challenge.
I think he's got good touch on the ball. He hadn't shot it great, but he's got good touch on the ball. And he can change a game without even blocking a shot because people are thinking about him. They're just thinking about him. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he leads the country. Brian and I talked about this earlier. He leads the country in block shots. But he's probably altering another 5 or 6 a game. And then, he can score over both shoulders. He can do some things, but his length is just ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it from a length standpoint. Guy's 6'11" and wingspan of 7'9", that's plus 10, and I don't even know if there's anybody in the NBA that even comes close to that.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedules now. Texas 9-3. They have 4 players averaging in double figures. Then on Tuesday, the 2nd, KU hosts number 22, Texas Tech. That's a late tip-off at the Fieldhouse. And on January 6th, KU back on the road to face the team ranked 1 spot ahead of them in the top 25, number 10, TCU. As for the Wildcats, up first, a trip to Ames. Then on New Year's Day, the Cats host Bob Huggins in West Virginia. That game has the odd tip-off time of 4 p.m. Then they'll be back on the road heading to Lubbock to face the Red Raiders. Andy Reid announced today that Alex Smith will not play on Sunday against the Broncos, and rookie Patrick Mahomes will get his first NFL start. Mahomes will be the first rookie to start for the Chiefs in a non-strike game since 1979. It's a perfect scenario for Mahomes. The Chiefs will have the 4th seed in the playoffs, win or lose. Mahomes was the 10th pick in the draft, the first-round pick for KC since 1983. He says he's planning to just go about business like normal.
It's not very different. Every single week this entire season I've been trying to prepare like if I was the starter and trying to learn and making sure I was ready for any moment. So this week I'm going to do the same thing, just keep preparing and making sure that I can go out and produce on the field.
We look forward to the challenge of playing Denver. We know they're a good football team. It's just a situation we're in right now, and it gives the young guys an opportunity to get some experience, and that's invaluable against a really good team.
They have a great defense. It's going to be a great challenge to go out there first start and get to compete against a great defense. There's nothing else better than going against the best, and they have one of the best defenses in the league.
The Kansas Shrine Bowl rosters and coaching staffs are set for this upcoming summer, and there will be plenty of representation from Northeast Kansas. The East team, coached by Warren Seitz with assistants Walt Alexander and Garrett Michael, includes Wyatt Byer, Jack Blummer, Josh Boyd, Anthony Geis, Jacob Glendenning, and Mitchell Henry, along with Cade Holmes, Connor Jeffers, Tristan Lee, Tanner Mathias, Jonathan Olson, Brent Peevler, Damon Schmidt, and Dexton Swinehart. Now on the West team, we'll see Xavier Cason from Junction City, Nick Grubbs from Manhattan, and Peyton Lane from Clay Center. The Shrine Bowl will be played in Pittsburgh on July 28th. I cannot wait. I also can't wait for July weather, Jeremy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like July out there at all. At all.
The southern hemisphere is actually going through the warmest time of the year right now.
Can I just confess to everybody that you have this infrared heat-seeking app thing on your phone, and you went outside and said, yeah, it's cold. No heat to be found.
Pretty neat. Yes, it's frigid. I was looking for deer. I was unsuccessful, but the cold weather has found us, that's for sure. Here's what we have. After seeing the first 21 days of December, only one day of the first 21 was below average. Every other day was above normal. Now we're being punished for the next several days. High of 32 tomorrow. That's the warmest it gets. The wind chill on Sunday likely to be 20 to 25 below Sunday night as we celebrate New Year's Eve. That's really the coldest of the air. New Year's Day, a high of just 10.
Ugh, just stay inside. They served up some cake and played games at a local nursing home today, celebrating the 100th birthday of John Gooden Jr., born on this day in 1917. It seemed like any other day to him, though, because he said when you live a full life, every day is special. He's had a great life. He was a former Parks Commissioner for Shawnee County. He is actually the one who helped bring the mini train to Gage Park, still there today. And he also helped hire former zoo director Gary Clark. Of course, Gary Clark is now leading the new exhibit, Camp Cowabunga. Gooden says it is important to enjoy life and wish people well. So I wish you all well. Mo Bamba, that's about your wingspan, right?
Yeah, 7'9". That's 2.5 of me, 1.5 of me. Math.
I wasn't going to go there.
Math.
But you did.
Yeah, 5'7" to 7'9".
Have a great night. Stay warm and safe, everybody.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports at WIBW.com or follow WIBW on Twitter, Facebook, and our mobile app. Thank you for making 13 News the most watched evening news.